channel where we spread love and positivity. And to you who has subscribed to our channel, the returning subscribers, the new subscribers, we really appreciate you. We thank you so much. You are the reason we sit here every day and shoot this video. Because of your support, you have shown us great support. To the keyboard reactors, those that comment, those that explain to us everything about the Caribbeans, about what we don't know, about what we need to correct on what we are saying, we really appreciate and we thank you so much. And we always tell you, we pray for you. May the Lord bless you, may the Lord enlarge you, may the Lord protect you, may the Lord shield you together with your family. We don't take it for granted, guys. We really appreciate. And today, guys, it is sort of a sad video. But because we all will go through that way, I decided that I'm going to talk about it. You know, all of us, when we hear death, we actually go down. We feel bad. We don't want to talk about it, especially where I come from. It is very hard to hear people talking about death because people term it as if it brings sadness, it brings mourning, and therefore people rarely talk about death. But I saw something very peculiar and something very new to us, people in Africa, and I decided it's good to share and see the differences between us and the people of Jamaica and Trinidad when it comes to a loved one passing away. There is a video we had shoot on how the Jamaicans bury their dead and the way they value the person and the way they commemorate him. They remember him or her through doing what he wanted to do most, putting on the grave what that person liked most. If the person loved houses, they build houses on top of the grave. If the person was a musician, they can put a guitar on top of the grave. And I found it very necessary because here in Kenya we don't do it. I found it a very good way of remembering these people we really loved, we have stayed with, they have become part of our lives, and therefore it is good even when they are gone, we remember them. So I found this very a good culture, and I thought that I can find out what do they do when their loved ones is dead. And I came across some information that are done both in Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. And the first thing they do, you can tell me whether I'm right or not. Because some of the information, we don't know whether they are true or not. So guys, you are always in the front line of telling us about you people and about telling us where we are wrong and where we are not wrong. And we appreciate that very much. So I found after a person passes on, there is some rituals that are done in both Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. And one of them is closing of the windows. I don't know opening of the windows. I think it signifies, though you can tell me, that the spirits of that dead person are going out through the window. So there is that part of opening the windows. Then there is this part of closing the mirror. I don't know what closing the mirror signifies. Covering the mirror. I don't know whether it is covered with a piece of cloth or what is used to cover the mirror. But I saw that the mirrors are usually covered and the windows are usually opened. And I saw these traditions very important, especially when they become part and parcel of people's lives. And therefore, when a dead person dies, the mirrors are covered, the windows are opened, and the furnitures are moved. If it is a table, if it is a chair, there is movement of furniture. And I saw that the furnitures are moved so that the spirits can be confused. And I think this practice is done in West Africa, if I'm not wrong. And we all know that most of the people in the Caribbean were actually from West Africa. there are some people from West Africa that were taken as slaves, and therefore part of the traditions that the Jamaicans and some of the Trinidad and Tobago people practice are actually from Africa. And therefore I found this very, very nice. Then I found some things that are done in Jamaica and some things that are done in Tobago. And I hope that even in Trinidad, they are also done. In Jamaica, I looked at how do they mourn their dead. We all feel bad when we lose a loved one. And we go down. And there are 4 stages that are said a person goes through when you lose a loved one. The first thing you do is denial. You don't believe that this person has gone. You cannot fathom that you'll never see this person again. I have lost so far 2 sisters. And how many brothers? 3 brothers. And my father also went to be with the Lord. And I tell you, mourning these people was not easy. Sometimes you go into denial, you wish you are the one, you go through a very, very hard time. And every one of us go through these stages of mourning. There is the stage of denial. You cannot believe that this person has gone. Then there is the stage of anger. You are angry. Why did it happen? Why on us? Why our family? Why should it be like this? Why did death come to us? All those questions you ask because of anger, and sometimes this anger can take you into saying things that are not good. The other stage is the stage of bargaining. Like I was telling you, I was arguing between me and my maker. Why God? Why have you taken my sister and not me? And I tell you that God can never make a mistake. If you're going through these stages right now, because I know there are some people who maybe have lost their loved one, let me tell you that it is hard. And I know it is very, very hard. But I want to tell you, the peace of Christ usually comes and covers you. The peace of God covers us and takes the pain away from us and takes all this anger from us and takes the bargaining and asking God, why this one? Why not this one? Why this? You know, those things that we say when we are bitter, when we are angry, when we don't know, when we are confused and we don't know what to say. The next stage is the stage of depression. You go into a moment of depression, and I tell you, I went through these stages myself. I went through denial, through anger, through bargaining with God, through depression. Actually, I got blood pressure because these 2 sisters followed each other very, very closely. And I was asking God, why? Why us? Why do this to my sisters? I loved so much. We used to do things together. And therefore, these 4 stages, every one of us experiences them. So you first go through denial, then you go through anger, then you go through bargaining, then you go through depression, and finally, God gives you the peace, and you accept, and you say the will of God to prevail over your life. And those are the stages we all go when we are going through a painful situation. In Jamaica, it is not an exception, actually. Their stages are actually 5 of them. And I'm going to say them in Patois. If I don't pronounce Patois well, bear me, because actually, though we are trying to know these languages, it's slightly hard. And therefore, the first stage in a Jamaican, when a Jamaican loses a loved one, the first stage is to exclaim. They exclaim. They remove that pain by saying las. Guys, note that in our Kikuyu community, we don't have the difference between R and L. So I might say las, looks like it is an L, but it's supposed to be an R. So they say las, meaning that they are shocked. They cannot believe. They cannot fathom why this has happened. So they exclaim. And in our community, sometimes we scream, we shout. And this is done in Jamaica. They actually say las because they cannot believe that this has happened. The next stage in Jamaica, they say, me ya believe this. Me ya believe this. This is the denial stage, where the person is saying, I can't believe that this has happened. Me ya believe this. If I'm not pronouncing the part well, you're going to correct me. And therefore, this is the stage whereby you are in denial. You cannot accept that this person has gone. You cannot fathom that this person will be no more. And I have told you guys, this is kawaida. It is normal for all of us to go through this stage. And we really tell sorry to the person going through this. We really pray for peace upon you. Because all of us at one time or another, we are going through this traumatizing situation, shocking situation. And therefore the Jamaicans start by saying last, the shock stage, and then they say, me ya believe this, denial, and then stage 3, ga sack your mama. That is the stage when you are angry. You are full of anger, and you cannot control. Ga sack your mama, and you express it, the anger. So that stage is another stage of actually anger. Like we have said, there are 4 stages, and therefore Jamaican go through these stages and adds one more. So go sack your mama is the stage, the third stage a Jamaican goes through. And then there is the 4th stage, amating. This is the stage of disbelief. It is still the stage of denial. It is the stage of denial, disbelief, and you are expressing, or the Jamaican is expressing, this is not real. I cannot fathom this. I cannot understand this. Why happened? So they say, a mad thing. I hope I'm pronouncing properly. And then we have the 5th stage that a Jamaican goes through, no. This is the bargaining stage. And you are asking, is this for real? It is just right there a stage. Is it for real? No. So you are actually in disbelief still. You are not seeing as if it's reality that this person has gone. And then we have the 6th stage, who the hell? The hell. This is a stage of bargaining. Oh no, anger again. The hell. So we say the first stage of anger, a Jamaican explains, ga sack your mama. Then the next stage of anger, so they go through 2 stages of anger. The next stage, maybe Jamaicans in the house can confirm that. And I will try to talk slowly so that you can understand. So the 6th stage is the same stage as ga sack your mama. So here they say, the hell. They are still in anger. They are not believing this has happened. They have lost this person they love so much. So they are exclaiming their anger. They are removing their anger. And it is so normal. Because you feel of bitterness, anger, why this happened to us? And therefore the 7th stage in a Jamaican mourning is that saha it ga. This is the stage of acceptance. Saha it ga. I hope I'm spelling it properly. That's how life is. You say, that's how life is. So you have accepted the situation and you are now slightly at peace. Because let me tell you guys, there is no way that you can say you are completely at peace when you lose your loved ones. So the right stage of a Jamaican is when they accept and say, saha it ga. In other words, you accept and you say, that's how life is. That is how life is. And you accept the situation. But it's not easy, guys. I know it's not easy. Now, the next stage, the next thing that the Jamaicans do is after 9 days, there is the celebration. which is called the 9 nights. I think I'm right. You're going to tell me whether I'm right. The 9 nights celebration. These are 9 days after the person has passed on. And this, after 9 days, I think it is done the 9th night. And this is whereby the family and the friends come together, celebrate together, eat together, have music together, and they marry, and they tell stories about this person, the goodness of this person, how they have stayed with this person. This is done after 9 days. And I was looking at people who are even in diaspora. They actually celebrate the 9 nights celebration after the death. Even the people who have gone out of Jamaica, they keep this tradition. They keep this culture. They embrace this culture. And even the people who are coming up, the young people, they still celebrate this culture, but they don't do it the way the old people used to do it. They do it through dances, through singing, through eating food, and actually remembering this person by these celebrations. And the young people come. During these celebrations, the young people wear white, while the old people wear black. You can correct if I'm wrong. And this is done by all the Jamaicans, wherever they are. It is a culture. It is something they have seen as they grow old, and they keep on doing it even when they go outside Jamaica. And I found this something so good because, like, for example, here in Kenya, when someone dies, yes, we do the wake. And I'm going to explain how the wake is done in Trinidad and Tobago. Here we do the wake. We put tents outside the compound of the person who has passed on, or if it is a child, the parent's house. So we put tents outside, and there are chairs. And if, by the way, Kenyans, all of us, we are very religious. Maybe very few people who are not religious. And therefore, when we put the tents, different religions come. We come together, we sing, we read the Bible. The church where that person was going reads the sessions and calls upon the other churches to do presentations, songs, and actually the whole week is about mourning that person. And actually they bring some money and some things to cook to the family of the deceased. So this is the time you support the family through this wake, which we do it outside the house in a tent. And after this wake, the person is buried. Let me tell you guys, after the person is buried in Kenya, especially in my community, people go and leave the family alone. And this is where I found in Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, they do it in a very, very good way. Because they don't go after the burial. They stay there with the family. They stay there for 9 days, I think, if I'm not wrong. And this is a good gesture because this family will not feel the sadness, the anger, the bitterness. They are not going to go through those stages I've mentioned alone. They have people to encourage them. They have people to sing, to marry, to do things so that they don't feel they have been left. And therefore, I found this a very good gesture in Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. It is very, very important to actually keep these people for some time so that they can finish the mourning process. Because mourning is a process, a very painful process, and you need people. But let me tell you, in my community, after the burial, everybody goes. The family is left alone. And it's not easy, guys. It's not easy. So I found that a very good gesture in Jamaica. So I have gone through the stages of mourning in Jamaica and also the stages of the 9 nights after the person has died. I don't know whether it is after the person has died or after the burial. You're going to rectify that for us if, for example, we are wrong. So you're going to tell us whether it is 9 days after the death or 9 days after the burial. So I found that a very good thing, because that brings support to the family, that brings comfort to the family, that brings that feel of peace that people around you, even though you are mourning, there are people who care, there are people who are concerned, there are people who are feeling you. So I found that very, very good. Let me go to Tobago, and I hope that some Trinidadians do also the same thing. The wake. I said that after this person has passed on, there are some rituals that are done. Opening of the windows, moving of the furniture to confuse the spirits, and covering the mirror. And then I found something very intriguing in Tobago. When the person dies, the women are supposed to take their beddings. I hope the Tobago and the Trinidadians in the house are going to tell us whether this is true. So they take their beddings, everything, all the clothes of the deceased, and it is women who do it. And they go to the river doing some dances, and it was said that these dances can be vulgar at times, and therefore the men are prohibited from doing this dance. So they go dancing to the river. They take the clothes away to the river, I think to avoid the spirits. So when they arrive at the river, they are supposed to clean these clothes. And I realized that they are supposed to wash their hands with lamb before they take these clothes to the river and clean them. And therefore they do the cleaning to the river, and I have told you, as they go to the river, they are dancing. Then something very intriguing is that after cleaning these clothes, when they are coming out of the river, they come backwards. They don't face in front, so that the spirits do not follow them, the spirits of the dead. And this is done in West Africa. And actually some communities in Kenya do some of these traditions, these rituals. So I found that Africans, wherever they are, let me say black people, because in Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, we don't have Africans. Actually, we can say they're Africans because their ancestors are in Africa. So they go backwards away from the river after cleaning these clothes. What about the men? I found that there are some specific dance that is supposed to be done by the people during the wake. The wake is the period where you mourn the dead until you bury the dead. And during this wake, I found that, I wish I can put a clip. There was a lot of dancing. I don't know whether it is Yoruba dance. Guys, you're going to tell me the name of these dances, because I found that they have two names and I have not written them anywhere, so I can't remember. So they dance and dance and dance, and some of these songs I could actually associate with them. They were English songs that we praise, that we sing in the church. So they sing and sing, and I saw the men were dancing and shaking their hair and shaking their head and shaking their body. It was awesome. And I found that in such a situation, even the person who has lost the relatives to the deceased cannot feel so sad, because there are people who are actually doing things and they make you forget the pain you are going through. So I saw the dances, they are done and they are happy and they dance and they, hey, oh my God. I was actually saying, this is so beautiful. This is so wonderful. The people who have lost their loved one, they can actually be comforted by this music. They can feel at peace. It can lessen their pain. Because sometimes you can forget about this pain because of the music that is being played, the dancing that is taking place, the food that is being cooked. And I forgot to tell you, during the 9 days mourning in Jamaica, the food that used to be cooked, those days, it was yam, bananas, and some meat of the choice. So nowadays, I don't know what the Jamaicans cook, they can tell us. So the people who were there a long time ago, they used to cook yam, bananas, and some meat of their choice. So I was talking about Tobago and Trinidad. So this wake has a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, and if it is religious, I'm sure there is a lot of Bible work. Because I also saw in Jamaica, If the people are religious, it is done in a religious way. There is reading of the Bible, there is hymns that are sung. So I found that very intriguing. Just like in Kenya, I have told you that we usually have the Bible, we usually sing, we usually read the Bible and have all that. So, guys, I found that in different corners of the world, people celebrate things in different ways, but they are so intriguing. And that is why we have different cultures, so that we can, we can experience the culture of the people in the Caribbean, the culture in West Africa, which is similar to what we are seeing in Tobago, Trinidad, and Jamaica. And the culture of the Africans, like I have told you here in Kenya, I think because of the missionaries, because they came first in central Kenya, as the Kikuyus, we have a lot of influence from the white religion practices. So we don't have much in traditions. Although nowadays, people are returning their traditions and their churches that are being held, which emphasize more on the traditions. But otherwise, there was a lot of influence by the missionaries, and therefore, we don't find a lot of culture in our communities. So I was so intrigued by Jamaicans and Trinidad and Tobagos. They have great cultures when it comes to losing a loved one. And these people, I'm sure, the people who have lost their relatives, they don't feel so sad like I have explained to you what we do here in Kenya. They don't feel out of place. They don't feel, and I've told you that these cultures are practiced by everybody. People who have left Jamaica and gone abroad, diaspora, they practice this culture throughout. They don't skip. They don't lose their identity. They don't lose their Jamaican culture and their Trinidad and Tobago culture. But Africans, I don't know whether they still practice this mourning there, though we don't have much culture. But I find that people say they are very busy when it comes to diaspora. But I found that these people from the Caribbean do not stop practicing their culture even when they go there in the diaspora. And guys, this was very great information that I came to learn about the Caribbeans. I'm telling you, every day I'm falling in love with the Caribbeans. Every day I'm falling in love with the Caribbeans. The way they do their things, the way they handle their things. I'm intrigued. I'm completely intrigued. And like I was looking at this, I was so intrigued. Actually, I could say, my God, is this what happens? This is great. People cannot even feel like the mourning period is too hard for them, because there are people there to comfort you. There are people there to bring peace to you. There are people there entertaining, and therefore you feel, sometimes you forget that you have actually lost a loved one. Not really forgetting, but it comes out of your mind because of what is happening around you. So I found this so intriguing, and I said that I'm going to share it. So thank you so much, guys. And we really appreciate your contribution to this channel. We really appreciate. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe to our channel, comment down below, share our videos, and like our videos. We appreciate so much.